Okay, so I get asked all the time, Will, what do you think about reps? Do you think it's good to have a rep? Do you think I should have a rep? Do you have a rep? Things like that. Basically, what are the pros and cons of having a rep? So I'm just going to go through a list that I created here, and it's probably not complete. And these are just going to be some of my experiences, and hopefully it helps. On the pro side, you can get more work. You can get better work. You can get different work, and you can make more money on each assignment that you get, right? Because the rep is going to be charging more. You can avoid doing a lot of paperwork. You can avoid having to do the collections and to try to find your money and get your money sent to you. And you can avoid doing all the prospecting, all the business side advertising and hunting for jobs that you probably didn't become an artist to do in the first place, right? Also, it's validating to have a rep, right? I mean, it says something about us. It's like, hey, I have a rep. And it makes us feel good. So that's another thing on the pro side. Also, we get to spend more time creating, and I think that's probably one of the biggest benefits of having a rep. So, and that's my little list on the pros side. On the con side, you have to pay for that rep. They don't come free, so you're paying 25 to 30%. You give up the right to market your work in a lot of cases. A lot of rep contracts, you sign away the right to actually start hunting for jobs on your own. Not knowing if your jobs are being diverted. Okay, and so by that I mean sometimes a job will come in for you to your rep, and you don't know if that rep is passing that job to you, or if they're diverting it and giving it to someone else in the group. This can happen because, let's say you're busy with work, but someone else in the group isn't. And so the rep wants to not lose the job, thinking that if they ask you to do it, you'll turn it down, and then they'll just lose it. Or there might be another reason that I'm not even thinking of, but for whatever reason, the rep has that ability to send work that's coming to you to someone else for whatever reason, and you'll never know about it. Okay, you have to wait longer to get paid. So when the money comes from your client to the rep, it takes time for the rep to turn the money around and send it to you. What about being persuaded to take jobs that are a bad fit for you? This has happened to me on a couple of occasions, and it's actually the reason why I'm not with the rep that I was with a few years ago. Paying commissions on jobs that you might have gotten yourself, right? So there could be a job that you would have gotten on your own, but now you're paying that 25 to 30% to your rep just because you have that relationship. And allowing your business to depend on one relationship, and that is probably, I would say, the biggest con that there is, or the biggest downside, is that you've given up so much control when you work with a rep that if anything happens in that relationship, all of a sudden the money that you're used to getting through that rep is now threatened, is in jeopardy, and that's caused the downfall of many an illustrator. So those are kind of the pros and cons as I see them. I'll give you 3 pieces of advice that I think everyone should do if they're contemplating going with a rep. Okay? And those things are, don't look for a rep until you've freelanced on your own for a couple of years, at least 2 or 3 years. And for that, the reason for that is you get to know how the business works, okay? You get to understand how hard it is to go after jobs. You know what it feels like. You know what it takes to get a job. And you'll be able to judge whether your rep is doing well for you or not by the types of jobs that they're able to bring in. Another reason is that for waiting is that you're probably not ready for a rep, and so the type of rep that you will attract is probably someone who's just starting out, or someone who is looking to just get another person, another body in their stable. They don't really care about your work that much, and what they really want is just someone that if a job happens to come in, they can feed it to you, but they're not really going to take you seriously. They're not going to spend a lot of money and time marketing your work because they don't really believe in it, because it's not as good as it can be when you have more years of experience under your belt. Um,
Yeah.
the other one is, if you are talking to a rep and they're considering becoming your rep, or you're considering going into their group, I would suggest that you ask them for a list of all the artists, all the talent in their group, and to get their phone numbers. And if that rep has any problem in turning that information over to you, to me that's a sign. That's a sign that you don't want to have anything to do with that rep, because they have something to hide. I know of 3 or 4 reps right now that have been in business in the past that if they were asked for those phone numbers, they would not give them, because everyone in their group was really mad at them because they were doing things completely wrong. They were going out of business. They were having troubles in one way or another, and they just wouldn't give those phone numbers. So you would never want to, sign with someone who is in trouble, or who's having trouble, or who is just a bad rep, or who is hard to get along with, or who holds on to money forever. Those are the types of things that you'll find out if you call artists in a rep's group. When I signed with my first rep, Joanne Shuna, I asked her for phone numbers from her artists, and she gave them to me right away. I just got all the phone numbers. I only had to call 3 people on her list, because everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, she's the best rep in the world. You're very lucky if she's considering repping you," and this, that, and the other. So that's number 2. And then the number 3 one is, don't ever give up your right to market your own work. You can look at a contract, and you can cross things out, and the rep has the choice of taking you on or not taking you on. But I would personally, after being in this business for 20 years, I would never, ever, ever give up the right to market my own work. And the reason for that is, sometimes you have this idea in your head that the rep is going to be one thing, that the rep is going to all of a sudden be able to bring you work. And that's great if they can, but most of the time they can't. And so while you're waiting at home doing nothing, you have the time to market your work. You have the time to go out there and hunt for your own jobs. Sometimes reps will say, "Well, I don't mind if you market in this area, but I'm really going to be going after this area." And I think that's probably okay, to make a compromise there. But I would never ever sign something that says you have to sit on your hands waiting for me to bring you a job. Remember also that when a rep sends you a contract, basically they're sending you a document that says, if I'm the rep, I want to be protected from you, okay? And everything in the contract that I'm sending you will protect me from you. Now, they won't say it like that. They'll say, "Here, I have a contract, I'd like you to sign it." But basically, if you read everything in that contract, it protects the rep from you. They are afraid of you. And if anything goes south in the relationship, if anything goes wrong, everything bad is going to happen to you, not to them. They will have all the rights. They will have all the power. You will have nothing. So you got to be very, very careful about what you sign in a contract. Some things are very reasonable, and some things are power grabs, and some things are just downright slimy, So you've got to be very careful that you're not signing your life away. A rep should make you feel special when they ask if they can rep you, if they can add you to their group. The attitude from the rep should be, "Wow, I really like your work. I think you're awesome. I think that I can make money off of your work, and I think that I can help you make more money than you would have made on your own." And that should really be kind of the attitude there. I don't want to live without you, and I'm hoping to make you happy enough that you don't want to live without me. And with that kind of relationship, I think you can really do something with that. And the last thing I'm going to leave you with is my first rep, who I'm still with right now, Joanne Shuna, is the best rep that I've ever heard of, and the nicest person, and the smartest person as far as the business of repping goes, and how to really help her talent, and how to really be an advocate, and basically be everything that it is to be a rep. And I can't go into everything right now, or it would take too long. But basically, she is the most ethical person in the repping business that I know. and she is, I mean, for lack of better description, she's the kindest. She's extremely respectful. She runs a good business, and she just does everything. There's absolutely nothing that I would ask from her more than she has already done for me. So, and I'm going to put there's her URL that I'm putting right up there right now. And anyway, I hope this helps. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them. I'm sure I've left things out. I'm sure some of you that are watching this have other things to add to this conversation. So please just, add your comment or criticism or whatever. And thanks for watching.